Hi and welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses, and today we're going to do part 2 about the pushy horses. So while researching another video I came across with Mark Langley, and I absolutely loved how he explained this. So he had a horse that was biting and very pushy on that video, and he said, of course, and this is the thing, we, as much as we can, of course, we want to communicate with our horse the way other horses do and always be aware so we can be as clear and as easily understood by our horse. But at the end of the day, we're not a horse. So just having that presence and holding our space like we talked about in the last video, or sending the horse off, might not be so effective. So we want the horse to investigate us as a person. And as a person, I might, he does all these crazy movements. So you see how my horse really, that really got his attention. I'm a big fan of crazy movement stuff, because often when the horses are misbehaving, it's just that they don't know any better. So if they're pushing in and nibbling and just being a bit cheeky, bit naughty, and we can be too firmly telling them off, and they feel punished when they don't really know what they've done wrong. So having a bit of awareness is much better. Just making them aware of, like, oh, hey, I'm here and this is my space. Watch that video. It made me laugh. I love it. So So the other side of that is about backing our horse. So sometimes people have trouble with the backup, or it doesn't go, or it's very stiff and very slow, or not very willing. And sometimes it seems to me it's a lot because the horse's mind is still thinking forward into my space. So noticing and being attentive where the horse's mind is first. So a good exercise which works for if they're being really pushy, to actually put them into their own space and ask them to hold their space. But also if we want to back out of their space, so say, hey, you can stand there on your own. Now he's taken a step in, so I'm just going to back him a little bit. Come on, Biscuit. Come on, Biscuit. So if I want to back up, because imagine I want to back this horse and he's still thinking forward and he keeps wanting to follow me, and every time I move forward he wants to come forward into my space. So what about if it's a car and it's in forward gear, and first we have to go to neutral before we can go to reverse? So it's a bit like that. So if I was going to back him and he wasn't very willing to back, how about if I first ask him to hold his own space? So I'm going to back up and I'm going to make sure he's not confused about it, because if I was asking him to come with me, you see, just by that posture, and because I made a little movement there, he's backing up. If I wanted him to come, I would have a much more humble, inviting posture. I'd be looking down, oops, I'm off camera. Like this kind of feel, which is very different from this kind of feel. So I'm going to back out his space a wee bit, you see, and he's backing up, and just say, hey, you can stay over there, so that his mind is not thinking coming into my space. He's quite happy over there, standing in his space. And from there, when he's in neutral, then it might be easier to go in and ask for a backup. So that's another side of it. And if you've got a horse that's also very pushy, a little stray dog I've been trying to catch for 2 days. My dog keeps chasing her away, or him. Poor baby, I hope I can get hold of it. Anyway, oh sorry, getting totally distracted by a stray dog. But it's upsetting me because she's so skinny and poor little thing. So anyway, this is another exercise you can try to, if your horse is really pushing. That they understand it's okay to stay over there in their own space, We're not abandoning them. We can still have that feel. You see horses in herds standing together and they don't have to be right up against. They can have a few meters or quite a distance between, and they're feeling relaxed and happy and still feeling quite together. So I hope that's helpful. And yes, I mean, just to keep an eye on the horse's expression. They'll always tell us when we're getting it right. And always to go asking everything as if the minimum will be enough, you know? Approach them like we want them to be, as Buck says. So that if I just assume, yes, I'm holding my space here, it's enough, you're not coming into my space. And if I had to step that up, I can make movement, I can jump around, I can throw my arms, whatever works. Good boy. I could swing my rope if I needed a bit more. I could take my flag if I really needed a bit more. So it's always to go building up and to notice what's enough and when it's enough. So I hope that's helpful. It's such a big topic, and you know, it's such an important base in everything we're doing with our horse. So thank you very much for joining us today. Keep tuning into the light, and I'll see you next time.